Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away.
Welcome to another episode. I'm your co-host, Ellen, along with my co-host...
Lee. Boring Lee.
All right. Well, Lee is boring, but that's not a bad thing. Today's our third episode of the 7 Unconventional Habits of Highly Efficient People. So, third of 7 habits, and that would be boring? If they're boring?
Well, these are unconventional things. So you would think, oh, well, the efficient person is super exciting and they change it up. And not necessarily. They're the kind of people that they go with what works. They know that works and they stick with it. And that allows them to have more freedom for other things. But the things that are maybe repetitive or things that they know that they do well and that work for them, they stick with in like a daily routine. And the funny thing is, you would think that structure would hold you back, but structure, even for the highly creative person, is really necessary. When you know you have some parameters, then you can, have some creativity either outside of those or within those, but it keeps the rails on the day. And we're talking about efficiency. It can be applied in a lot of different areas, but as far as it goes with efficiency, the structure actually gives you freedom. It's the weirdest thing. It's the opposite of what you would expect, but we've seen it enough times with highly efficient people. They are not the wild and crazy people. They're the structured, boring, but yet super effective and efficient people.
Absolutely. They make uniform decisions. And I know we've talked about this before, but uniform doesn't mean the clothing, like I'm wearing a uniform. It means they make a decision once and they stand by it. So it could be a uniform decision. I'm going to wear jeans and a blue t-shirt every day. Steve Jobs, black turtleneck, jeans, tennis shoes. That's what he wore. Obama, former president, he had gray suits. I think this is right. Gray suits and black suits, and that's all he wore. Because when you have a uniform decision, in this case, an actual uniform, you don't have to spend time thinking about, well, what am I going to wear today? I could wear this, I could wear that. You're using up energy you don't need to use. You're not being efficient. You just pick your clothes, off you go. And you can apply that to what you eat. Every day I eat the same thing for lunch. Boom, there it is. I take the same route to work. Is it creative? No. Is it efficient? Absolutely. Boring and efficient.
And sometimes if we just took a little bit of time and went through, okay, which are the apps that really I use the most, I get the most out of, and those I maybe move to the front of my phone. What are the clothes, like you just said, that make me look the best, make me feel the best, and I'm just going to focus on wearing those. So it's actually streamlining, simplifying, to get to the things that we know work for us. That's the most important thing. And then we have more time to experiment and create and be innovative, because that's not taking up any of our brain power.
Exactly. And I know structured and boring, it sounds boring, right? But, when you have the structure, like you said, it gives you freedom, and it's something to build upon too. Okay, I figured out that this helps me and this is the structure I'm doing. What could I add to that to make me even more efficient? That it's a building block.
And we talk about discipline, and sometimes when it comes to living an efficient life, and that efficiency and that discipline sometimes comes from a routine or a ritual. I know I do this first, and I'm just going to sit down and do it, whether I feel like it or not. And that's discipline, and that's efficiency, because if you were to just say, well, maybe I'll do it later, or I'll do this first, maybe today I'll mix it up, and it doesn't work, and then you try something else and it doesn't work. Those are 2 or 3 days in a row that you didn't get done what you could have got done if you had a routine and a ritual that you stuck with because you know it works.
Exactly. Motivation. There's really no such thing as motivation. If we sat and waited to be motivated to do things, and honestly, people do that all the time. If you sit and wait to be motivated, chances are you're not going to get motivated. You're not going to do it. But if you've got this habit and this like you're saying, you structure Hey, I don't have to sit there. I know that 7 o'clock, I go to the gym and I work out. And there it is. I don't have to think about it. I'm not using up energy that I'm going to be able to use later on something really important.
And that is a good example where you start your day with, I make the bed. I mean, that's a ritual, it's a routine, and it just sets up the whole day. I've accomplished something. I know I'm doing this for my future self because I'll get into the bed later that's made. And it's a discipline. I'm disciplined enough to do it. I mean, you don't want to do it, but you do it. And those type of things, when you stack them up over time, make a big difference, because days go by where you woke up and you didn't feel like doing something, but that's your routine, that's your ritual, and you're sticking with it because you know it works and you know you've got to do it. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the week, you're like, wow, I really got a lot done. I did exactly what I needed to do because I'm boring.
Structured and boring.
Hey.
It wins. It's what highly efficient people do. It's an unconventional habit. And that's number 3 in our list of 7. Now, we've put together a infographic of this in the form of a postcard or a PDF that you can get. And all the information is in the show notes. You're just going to pop us an email and say, hey, get me one of those. In the meantime, be sure and be with us next week when we talk about the 4th unconventional habit of highly efficient people.